Hey guys, before we get started today, I just want to let you know I'm doing a $1.25 million shark card giveaway for the brand new Grotti GT500 Sports Classic car. That giveaway is going on my Twitter account. I'll leave a link to it in the description, and I'm going to be selecting the winner on Friday. So if you want this car for free and basically all the upgrades you can do to it, check out that giveaway in the description. And once again, by now, you've still got a couple days to enter, so check it out. Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, this is going to be my review of the brand new vehicle that Rockstar has just added into the game, the Grotti GT500. So this vehicle is available on the Legendary Motorsports site. It's a two-seater sports classic for $785,000. Now, just comparing the price of that, it's actually pretty cheap when you compare it to some of the recent sports classic vehicles that have been released, but also some of the older ones as well that came out earlier this year, like the Cheetah Classic, the Torero, the Turismo Classic. It's a little more expensive than that, but certainly less expensive than the Infernus Classic. So I'd say this is a pretty fairly priced vehicle as far as recently what we've seen in online. So this is it right here. It obviously comes with a very funny parody-esque description. And then, of course, you can see the vehicle stats right there. Not that any of that really matters all that much, but let's go ahead and purchase this vehicle and let's move on to the customization. All right, so as you can see there, my new red GT500 has now been delivered to my office garage number 3. Let's go ahead and check this thing out, and it's a pretty small vehicle when you first see it. I want to say this is based off of the Ferrari 250 SWB, which is a very beautiful car in real life. So I want to show you guys the startup sound, so I'll be quiet for a second so you can hear this. So pretty good startup sound, not anything that's all that great to ride home about. Let's check out the interior too. The interior is nice. You can see sort of the wood paneling on the side. I do like sort of the older retro accents on here. Wish it had a little bit more going on though. It seems a little bit plain, but again, that's just my personal taste. Let's move on to the customization room so that we can get this thing upgraded. All right, so here we go. We've got 17 different options for customization. The first thing we're going to be able to do is bumpers. There's only 3 options: race lights and race lights with fog lamps. And with each one of those, they put the X's on the headlights, so I guess we'll go with that. After that, we have 3 exhaust options. You have your stock, you have big bore, and then you have a side exit exhaust option, which actually looks kind of good. I think that's my personal favorite, so we're going to go with that. Following that, you have 3 hood options: stock, you have a GT hood, which adds some latches to it as well, and then you have competition hood, which I think just brings the latch back. I'm really not too sure what the difference is right there, other than just bringing that little slit back a little farther. So I think we're going to go with the GT hood. The best part about this car is going to be its liveries. Now, for the most part, they're all pretty simple. This first one, Grotti here, adds a 12 and a white circle, the Grotti logo on the side, and 2 white stripes. The Italia one replaces the 12 with the 23 and adds the Italian flag colors going down the side and back of the car. Side stripes, you get the stripes over the front wheel arches, and then 17 on the hood and the door. Again, pretty cool right there. You also get the Grotti logo and 17 on the back. Single side stripe, very similar. It replaced the 17 with an 8 and now has a single stripe. Commercial livery, you get a couple sponsors like Zero Gas, Globe Oil. You get a single stripe down the hood, 19 on the side, and 19 on the back as well. Red, white, and blue, which this one's actually one of my favorites. You get a simple 3 on the side, and then the red, white, and blue colors that go along the roof in the back, and then kind of expand when it hits the grill. Classic Racer, very similar, same colors, the red, white, and blue. 21 in the circle. You have Grotti Commercial, which is similar, just different placement of the red, white, and blue stripe. A number 11 in a white circle, and then Gall, which is 7 in a circle. It's got Gall written on the side, and then a simple white stripe. Now, this might be a little bit hard to see in the video, but one thing that infuriates me about these liveries is there isn't a single white that matches the white in the circle that you see. So again, it might be very difficult to see this in the video because YouTube's gonna mess with the processing a little bit, but that is not the exact white. So this kind of bothers my OCD a little bit. because you don't get that exact white matching. I think that would have looked really good right there, but it does get close enough. I think the livery that we're going to end up going with, this one's actually my favorite. I think it's this one right here, the red, white, and blue. It looks really good with white. You can see the 3 just kind of blends pretty nicely, so that's what we're going to go with right there. Now, another thing to note about the primary color is it will change the color of the dash. However, that's it. There's nothing else on the inside of the car that changes. Changing the primary color will only have an impact on this, as you can see right now. Now, the only other thing of note is the wheels. So you can't change the color of the stock rims because they are chrome. However, these are very easy to replicate. You just go to lowrider and then you go to wired, and you've literally got yourself the exact same wheel. So if you want to change the color of the wheel, just go to lowrider and then go to wired. It'll be literally the exact same one. But anyways, that right there is my final product. Pretty good customization on this vehicle, I will say. A couple things I think are lacking are a spoiler. That would have been really nice. Some skirt options would have been pretty cool too. But for a kind of retro-y sports classic vehicle like this, I am still a fan of the unique customization that Rockstar is allowing us to put on here. Okay, so one thing I just figured out that's kind of a bummer is if you put one of the upgraded hood options on there, the one that has the latches, you actually cannot open the hood. Like, you can see my car like twitching when I click the button, like it's going to open the hood, but it actually can't. You can open up every other door if you want, but for whatever reason, if you do the latch on the front, you aren't actually able to open up the hood. So again, that's kind of a bummer right there because I do like this option, but for car shows, I'd love to be able to open the hood. So again, that's a little bit of a bummer, one thing I noticed. Now, another thing I don't like about this vehicle is the headlamps. So if you add the extra ones, you don't even get to use them. So that's the normal lights right there. And then if I turn the brights on, you can see only the original ones get brighter. We don't actually get to use the rally lamps, which is kind of unfortunate. Now, Rockstar made like the fog lights work, but they didn't make the ones you could put on the grill work. So again, another unfortunate design flaw of this vehicle, kind of a bummer in my opinion. So now let's talk about the performance of this vehicle. And unfortunately, this vehicle really does suffer from not having a spoiler, and it just doesn't compete with the top tier sports class vehicles. So again, I'm going to be using the information that's been gathered by Bruffy, as his is typically the most accurate, the most informative. And the Grotti GT500 is only the 17th best sports classic vehicle. Yikes. So that means that there is a ton of other better sports classic vehicles. And then there's like the top tier ones that absolutely blow this out of the water, like the Turismo Classic and Furnace Classic, the Sterling GT. In the straightaways, you're going to get blown out of the way by the Z-Type and the Viserys that was just released last week. So needless to say, you don't want to buy this vehicle if performance is your thing. In fact, it would be a mistake to buy this vehicle if you're looking for something to use in races. I think that's just the bottom line right there, is this vehicle is never going to be good performance-wise in sports classic races. In my opinion, it seems a little bit too light for its own good. Like, I felt like I was almost tipping over. I was oversteering a lot with this car. It doesn't have amazing top speed, really tough around corners and whatnot. So this vehicle is getting a huge buyer beware in the performance category. It's just simply not great at all. So I am a little bit bummed out on that because I do think this is a really great vehicle, but having a huge setback like that performance-wise, where it's not even close to being competitive, is really going to discourage me from using this car a little bit less than I probably would like to. So now let's talk about my final review of this vehicle. Let's talk about price. I think price is an A+. $785,000 for a vehicle nowadays is absolutely nothing. So I'm going to consider that a pretty good price. Let's talk about upgrades and modification. I'm going to say that it gets like a B+. There's a lot of nice things you can do, but not a ton of options on each one. And I feel like there are some things missing, like spoiler options and skirts and stuff like that. So I'm going to say a B+ for that. And then performance is definitely going to get like a D or something like that. Now, it's not like dump truck speed, so it's not going to get an F, but in today's age, if you're not first, you're last, and that applies to these vehicles. If you can't be competitive, it's going to be really tough to want to even use them in races. So I'm going to give this a D as far as the performance of this vehicle goes. So now let's talk about, should you buy this vehicle? And I think the answer is that really depends. I think the only reason you should buy this vehicle is if, number one, you're a big fan of sports classic vehicles, or number two, you're a big fan of this Ferrari in real life, which once again is based off of the 250 GT SWB, which again is a beautiful Ferrari. But other than that, there really isn't a real reason why you should want to buy this vehicle. There's better sports classic vehicles with better customization. There's better sports classic vehicles with better upgrades and better performance. So I can't really see the need for anyone to really want to own this vehicle unless they're just a big fan of Grotti vehicles and whatnot and the 250 SWB. So that's my final verdict right there. I would recommend that you do not buy this car unless you really are just a collector and want to have it. So yeah, that's my final verdict. It does get a little bit of the buyer beware sticker. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys in this video today. That is my review of the Grotti GT500, the new sports classic car in Grand Theft Auto Online. Let me know what you think about this vehicle in the comments section down below. Are you going to be buying it? Are you going to be staying away from it? What's your opinions on it? Let me know in the comments right now. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.